Yo, what is up, guys? Today we're talking about the fight between Deron Winn and Antônio Arroyo at UFC Fight Night Thompson versus Neal. This fight is going to be very interesting, and the reason why is this fight is a catch weight fight at 195 pounds. It should be a very interesting move up in weight classes, as both of these fighters are natural middleweight fighters. They usually fight at 185 pounds, so they are moving up 10 pounds in a weight class that no one really ever fights in 195 pounds. Deron Winn is currently the 52nd best middleweight fighter in the world, and Antônio Arroyo is the 78th best middleweight fighter in the world. They're both coming off of losses. Deron Winn just lost to Gerald Meerschaert by rear naked choke submission around 9 months ago, and Darren Stewart by split decision around a year and 1 month ago. Antônio Arroyo is also coming off of a loss to Andre Muniz around a year ago by unanimous decision. Before that, he got 2 wins on Dana White's Contender Series against Diego Henrique by unanimous decision and Steven Regman by arm triangle choke submission. So he's a very good grappler versus a pretty good striker in Deron Winn. This should be a very interesting fight. The betting odds for this fight currently have Antônio Arroyo as the -155 slight favorite to win this fight. They have Deron Winn as the +130 slight underdog to win this fight. They're both similar ages, 31 and a half years old for both of these fighters. Deron Winn is literally only 1 month older than Antônio Arroyo, so age 100% will not be playing a factor in this fight. But something that will be playing a factor in this fight is definitely the height and reach advantages for Antônio Arroyo. Antônio Arroyo is 6'3" tall, a very tall middleweight fighter, 73.5-inch reach, a pretty long reach for a middleweight fighter as well. Then Deron Winn is 5'6" tall. He's literally my height, and I'm literally only 14 years old. That is absolutely insane. But that is a 6+3" reach advantage for Antônio Arroyo. I'm sorry, I don't know math, but that is a 9-inch height advantage for Antônio Arroyo in this fight. That is absolutely insane. That is going to play a humongous factor in the outcome of this fight. Also, he has a 3.5-inch reach advantage, as Deron Winn has a reach of 70 inches. That might be why Antônio Arroyo is the -155 slight favorite to win this fight, just because Deron Winn is so small and has such a small reach, and he is just such a big boy for how tall he is at 5'6" tall. And if you look at the Tablogy predictions for this fight, out of 900 different votes, 72% of the vote are going for Antônio Arroyo to win the fight, mainly by unanimous decision, and then some people obviously have Antônio Arroyo winning the fight by submission. 28% of the vote are going for Deron Winn to win the fight, mainly by unanimous decision, and then some people obviously are saying Deron Winn is going to get a knockout in this fight. Alright guys, now let's take a look at Deron Winn's record. 6 wins, 2 losses. Started his career back in 2017. Started with a first round TKO win over Mike Morales. Joined the LFA, got a first round knockout win over Devin Fisher. A first round knockout win over Cody Sands. A first round knockout win over Ahmed White inside of Bellator at Bellator 199. Got a win over Tom Lawler in his next fight by unanimous decision, and finally got a shot inside the UFC. And at that point, he was 5-0 as a pro MMA fighter. And when he joined the UFC as an undefeated fighter, he ended up fighting Eric Spicely in his first fight inside the UFC and absolutely dominated the fight, getting a unanimous decision win over Eric Spicely. But in his next fight against Darren Stewart, as I said before, he lost a fight. It was a very close fight against Darren Stewart, a very good striking battle between the two. But he did end up losing the fight by split decision. Lost his next fight as well to Gerald Meerschaert by third round rear naked choke submission. And he looks to come back with a nice win here over Antônio Arroyo in this fight. Alright guys, so Antônio Arroyo, 9-3, the 78th best middleweight fighter in the world, going up 10 pounds to the 195-pound limit for this catchweight fight. He started his career back in 2014 with 3 straight wins in a row over Gabriel Bataja, Pedro Henrique, Alton Del Silva, but in his next fight, ended up losing his first ever pro MMA fight back in 2015, I believe in November, by first round guillotine choke submission with 1 minute left in that first round. He did come back after that loss to Bretson Ribeiro with a first round arm triangle choke submission win over Felipe Oliveira. Lost his next fight by first round rear naked choke submission inside of the LFA at LFA 13 to an undefeated fighter in Herdem Alcabek. Came back after that with a first round knockout win in 19 seconds into that very first round over Trevor Carlson. Got a first round kick to the body knockout over Antonio Soares, and then a first round rear naked choke submission win over Adriano Miranda. Finally got a shot on Dana White's Contender Series against Diego Henrique Henrique, and in the fight against Diego Henrique, he absolutely dominated the fight on the ground. 3 straight round, absolute domination. Could have been a 30-26 on those judges' scorecards, but it was 30-27, an absolute domination on Dana White's Contender Series in 2018. But when it was in 2018, Dana White's Contender Series was literally only inviting guys who got finishes by submission or knockout in the first or second round. People that got decision wins on Dana White's Contender Series were not really offered shots inside the UFC, so he did get the win by unanimous decision, but the UFC did not get him a shot inside the UFC, so instead, he ended up fighting again on Dana White's Contender Series in 2019 against Steven Regman, and won that fight as well by second round arm triangle choke submission, and finally got a shot inside the UFC, and he was actually supposed to fight, I believe, Kevin Holland in 2019, I believe back in November. That fight ended up getting canceled, I'm not really sure why. Then he was supposed to fight Alessio De Carico. That fight ended up getting canceled, I'm not really sure why. And then finally, he was supposed to fight Andre Muniz. That fight did not get canceled, but he did end up losing the fight on his first fight inside the UFC by unanimous decision. Andre Muniz, a very, very good striker, and a very, very good grappler as well. He is currently on a 2-fight win streak inside the UFC over Antonio Arroyo and Bartosz Fabinski. I mean, that guy that he lost to, and Andre Muniz, is an absolute beast in the UFC right now. And then Antonio Arroyo was supposed to fight Trevin Giles. That fight got canceled mainly due to COVID. Then he was supposed to fight Andreas Michalidas. That fight got canceled. Then he was supposed to fight Eric Anders. Guess what, guys? That fight got canceled. And finally, here in December, on December 19th, on this UFC fight night, he's finally going to get that second fight inside the UFC against Deron Winn. And this should be a very, very interesting fight. Alright guys, so Deron Winn is definitely the striker in this fight. Antonio Arroyo is definitely the grappler in this fight. Because even if you look at the ways that both of these fighters get the wins, Deron Winn usually wins his fights by KO. He's got 4 wins by KO already. 2 of his wins coming by decision. Antonio Arroyo is a little bit different than that. He's got a bunch of wins by submission and a bunch of wins by decision. He also has a lot of wins by KO, 4 wins by KO, so he definitely knows how to strike with a guy like Deron Winn in this fight. But I definitely think this fight's going to stay on the ground for the most part, and that is why I'm picking Antonio Arroyo to win the fight by unanimous decision. Alright guys, so the grappling of Antonio Arroyo is not the only reason that I'm picking him to win the fight. I mean, as I told you guys at the beginning of the video, he has an amazing height advantage and an amazing reach advantage in this fight. So even if the fight stays on the feet, as I said before, he has 4 knockouts in his career so far. So he could keep the fight on the feet if he wanted to show people inside the UFC that he can strike as well. And I do think if he keeps the fight on the feet, he'll do very well there as well. He just needs to not get caught by the power of Deron Winn. And I definitely think that wherever this fight goes, that Antonio Arroyo is going to do very, very good. That is why I have him win the fight by unanimous decision. But what do you guys think is going to happen? Put your predictions in the comment section below. I'd love to see what you guys think is going to happen in this fight. Make sure to like the video if you do really like the video. And make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you don't miss when I post a new video. I post videos almost every single day. I do UFC predictions, Bellator predictions, LFA predictions, Invicta FC predictions. I mean, there are so many fight promotions out there I do predictions for, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss when I post a new video. This has been a very, very fun video to record, but I'm out of here.